Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. There is one question that comes back from time to time. It is where did you get those Green Lantern base items? Well, tonight is the night of nights. Tonight is when we answer that question. Sort of. So let's get started. So very simply, the answer to that question is the broker. A lot of those items come from survival mode. There's a few of those items that come from actually gathering collections, but it's been so long since then that I have no idea which ones actually require collections. I know there's probably collections for the banners, I think, but again, I would probably have to look it up. But the simplest way to get those items is from the broker. Like you see behind me, the Owen charging console. Uh, that's one of those items that come from a previous survival mode. And again, the only place right now to be able to get those items is from the broker. If you look on the broker and you don't see those items for whatever reason, don't despair. There are people who played survival mode a lot and who have a lot of those items in their bank right now. Basically, they're just waiting for those items to go up in value before they put them on the broker. So the good news is that sooner or later, someone will put those items up for sale. The bad news is that it'll probably be a bit expensive at the time. So again, the battery you see behind me is the Green Lantern battery. It's a little bigger than what we have in the comics, but it's the Owen charging console. And again, that comes from the broker. A lot of money. I spend a lot and a lot and a lot of millions to purchase all the items you can see in here. And I purchased even more than that for some of my other characters, or for my League Hall, for that matters. Let's go with the Green Lantern banner. Again, that's a Green Lantern banner that you can easily purchase on the broker. It's about 200,000 if I'm not mistaken right now. We'll take a look at that afterwards. And here we have the Owen Gateway. It's pretty big for our little lair. But I'm going to take a look also at the items in my League Hall to show you an idea of the scale when you're in an actual big room as opposed to being in the cramped little lair. And here we have the Owen monitor. It's a little similar to the Owen gateway, but not as many lines, and there's a nice little animation as you can see. And here we have the Owen porthole, a pretty neat base item that, depending on what angle you look at it, the landscape will shift a bit depending in which direction you're looking at. It's a pretty neat looking effect and a pretty neat looking item. And here we have the Owen system interface. If you've played any mission on OA, I'm sure you've seen that interface before. And here there's a small model of our friend Mogo. It's a pretty neat looking base item. There's also a version of ranks, so if you want to get the whole set, you can easily purchase both. But last and not least, there's the Green Lantern Memorial statue. It's a pretty big statue that you can get in your base. Sadly, you'd better make sure that you have a base where you have room for that item. Basically, I'm sure I've mentioned it. I've mentioned it quite a few times in the lair videos. Basically, there are some bases that will have a beam right here that pretty much prevents you from putting such a big base item in your lair. So if you want to be able to put a base item as big as this one, you'd better make sure that you have the room for it. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck having to put it all the way down there, and it won't have quite the same effect. Now let's look at the broker. Oh no, I have another item. There's the for quite a long time there was the Green Lantern exhibit poster. If you wanted to have a Green Lantern inspired base and you wanted basically a nice Green Lantern emblem in your base, this little poster was one of the very few options you had. So for quite a while, that item was pretty pricey in the broker because everyone wanted to have that item for their Green Lantern bases. But now, as you can see, we have the nice Green Lantern banner, and we can get the Green Lantern banner for fairly cheap on the broker. Again, when I say fairly cheap, I'm talking from the point of view of a legendary player. Obviously, a free-to-play player or a premium player will not be able to purchase that emblem. So let's take a look at a few of those items on the broker. I would strongly suggest click on base items and then search for Owen. So as you can see right now, there's only the Owen charging console, so basically the Green Lantern battery, and there's the Owen gateway. And if you look at the various banners, you can see that the Blue Lantern banners are selling for about 1 million right now. I'm a bit surprised. You can see the Green Lantern ones are selling for about 200,000. That's more or less the price for those items. And the Indigo Tribe banner about from 65,000 to 139,000. Actually, less than that, 48,000. So yeah, for about let's say 50,000, you should have a nice Indigo banner. The Sinister one is only available for 420,000. The Star Sapphire, let's say about 100,000. And the White Lantern, about 3 millions. The Black, I'm surprised there wasn't any for the Black Lanterns. The Black Lantern will be a little pricey, so I'd say somewhere between 3 and 5 millions, more or less. Let's take a look at Mogo. So you can see the model of Mogo is about 100,000. And let's look up ranks in case you want to complete the set. Ranks seems to be a bit pricier, although if you shop around, as you can see, you can get it for 100,000. And you can see the big Green Lantern Memorial statue is worth about 1 million. Again, these are the prices on US PS4 right now. Those prices will change if you play on Xbox. They will change if you play on a European server. And also, they change all the time. So you could look at those items tomorrow and have completely different prices. The prices change depending on how many people are willing to buy those items and how many people are trying to sell those items. So again, the prices changes all the time. So again, you can see that those items looked really cramped in our small lair. But if you look at the very same items in the context of the league hall, they're actually pretty small compared to the huge rooms that we have in the league halls. So again, you can see that little Green Lantern power battery. It looks fairly big in the lair, and the league hall not so big. Even the really big one doesn't look all that big when we compared to how big the room is here. So depending on where you put those items, they may look big or not. So you can see your old friend Mogo. And yeah, I purchased multiple copies. Again, the Green Lantern system interface. I wish I had bought more of this one, but what can you do? So we have the porthole here. Again, that item looked really cramped in the walls on the league on the lair. On the league hall, they look pretty small and has plenty of room. I have a couple more over here. Again, those items were pretty expensive, so a lot of millions had to be spent to purchase all those items. But again, you can see the porthole. They're pretty much, again, depending on which angle you look at the porthole, the image will change depending on your point of view. I have some other lantern based items, but they're not really Green Lantern, so I'll probably make some other video at some point. Some of those, like the Star Sapphire base items, come from the Valentine seasonal. You probably can purchase some of them on the broker still, but if you wait until the next Valentine seasonal, you should be able to farm for those, no problem. And of course, the banners, again, I would strongly suggest you just purchase them from the broker. In some cases, you can gather collections or hope to get them as drop in certain missions, but it's so much easier to just go to the broker, purchase the one you need. So those items look pretty neat, I think, not only in your lair, but in the league hall as well. So that's pretty much it for our Green Lantern base items. So again, basically, those base items come from the broker. And a lot of those items come from survival mode. Even though it's been a long time since we had a survival mode, you can still get some of those items as you saw. When will there be a new survival mode? I have absolutely no idea. We don't even know if survival mode will make a comeback. So for now, look at the broker, shop on the broker as much as you can, and you should be able to get those items. But right now, the odds are you'll have to pay at least a pretty penny to get some of those items. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.